Well, it looks like it's 7 o'clock. And if it's 7 o'clock, I don't know what this thing is. Share this with the Music Listeners Society? I don't think so. I have no idea who they are. So somebody just popped on. Hi, how are you? I'm Carl Rubino. I don't know if you know who I am or if you just popped up here, if you know anything about what I do. So let me give my little spiel. First of all, if you can communicate with me through a comment, tell me if you're getting the sound, because I can't tell for sure. I got headphones on, but they're coming out of my mixing board, not out of Facebook. So I'll assume I am, or otherwise I'd probably hear, can't hear you. Anyway, I do these weekly. I did them all summer and into the fall, and I took a break to do some songwriting and try to figure out some of the technology of how to do live streams on Facebook a little bit better. Hey, Philip Tucker. Hi, friend of Paul Bueller. Yeah, I saw that he tagged you or something. Can you hear me? That's what I'd like to know first. Can you get the sound? Is it coming out? Sounds great. Okay, thank you. I appreciate that. So anyway, Carl Rubino is my name. I think of myself as a songwriter, not a brilliant guitar player, and as you'll see, I ain't no freaking Pavarotti, if you catch my drift. Not to insult Pavarotti, great voice, but that's not where I go. I'm more like scraping coffee grinds out of a coffee grinder, I guess, by comparison. Anyway, so it's about the song, and I tend to do my own songs, 25 minutes, half an hour, something like that. I invite people to make comments. If I can see comments, I'll respond to them. Comments can be anything from, oh, that song sucks, man, to, you like the song, or you got a question, why'd you write it, why'd you say, what does this mean, that kind of thing. So I like that very much, because this is, to me, it's all about the song. So with that in mind, let me do my first. Oh, also, these are done live, but I record them simultaneously, and then I post them to the facebook.com Carl Rubino music site. So if you tune in late, or you want to go see some of the other ones, you can do that by going to that site. Okay, so this first song I'm going to do, the title is Red Wing Boots, and here's where it came from. Years ago, I participated with a group of songwriters in Burlington, and we get together every month or two, I don't remember which, and we would, amongst other things, we would give ourselves a challenge or a prompt for a song to write for the next meeting. And it could be a word, a phrase, an idea. For this particular meeting, the word was boots or shoes. I don't remember which one it came. Shoes, I think it was. So, you could take one of those prompts and you could do anything with it. You could write a song about shoes, or that shoes are in, like these boots are made for walking, that kind of thing. Or in any way that word inspired you. So this is what came out of this one, Red Wing Boots. It's not recorded, but it will be. Sea of black umbrellas, sobs heard round the rim, dampened mounds of fresh dug dirt from the hole they laid them in. Fist of earth in my teenage palm held tight as tight can. Dust to dust on the fresh pine box, and we buried my old man. Back at home I climbed the stairs, and when I reached the top, through the open door I saw a sight that made me stop. In the corner of the bedroom, bathed in a shaft of light, were my dad's old Red Wing boots. He'd owned them most of my life. You can't always walk a mile in someone else's shoes without getting you a blister, paying someone else's dues. Funny how your life can change when you least expect it to. Yeah, mine sure took another turn and I stared at those Red Wing boots. He wore 'em when he taught me how to fight and how to fish. Wore 'em when he stumbled home drunk after rolling in a ditch. He had 'em on when he taught me how to drive his pickup truck. Wore 'em when they wheeled 'em out as if they'd bring 'em luck. As they rolled 'em, coughing out the door, he said, "Son, I got bad news. I'm afraid I may be moving on with you to fill my shoes. Take care of your sister. Take care of your dear sweet mom. We'll all be counting on you after I've moved on." You can't always walk a mile in someone else's shoes without getting you a blister, paying someone else's dues. Funny how your life can change when you least expect it to. Yeah, mine sure took another turn as I stared at those Red Wing boots. I reached down, I picked them up, my dad's old Red Wing boots. Slipped them on, hauled the laces tight, and the fit was still too loose. Though I knew my life would change, I still could not refuse. I smiled and took a reluctant step in Dad's old Red Wing boots. You can't always walk a mile in someone else's shoes without getting you a blister, paying someone else's dues. Funny how your life can change when you least expect it to. Yeah, mine sure took another turn when I laced up those Red Wing boots. When I laced up, yeah, when I laced up, oh, when I laced up those Red Wing boots. Red Wing boots. So, you know, songs come to people in different ways. Sometimes you get an idea for a title, and the song builds from the title. You think about, you write down the title, and you think about what it actually means. Then you think in terms of your verses and your choruses. You know, what's the first verse going to do that introduces the characters and sets the tone and stuff like that, and what are some of the other verses going to do? Sometimes a song comes from just sitting there playing the guitar. You play something and you see something visual maybe, and out come the words for that one. So let me look at who's here and see if I got any questions. Let's see. Philip Tucker, hey, how you doing? Thank you for coming. First time here. You caught my little spiel. Wendy, old friend, and I don't mean old in the old age way. I mean you're still a spring chicken to me. Friend of long ago. Nice to see you. Wendy, I don't know if you know this, but these are live. I record them while I'm doing it. I post them to the Facebook site, so you can see it. You see later what you missed or old ones. Paul, thank you so much for the mention about the lyrics. The lyrics are so much to me. I appreciate that, especially coming from another musician. And Kathy, how you doing? Boy, long time ago, huh, lady? Oh my God, my daughter's here. Wub. Wub, I did gonna get myself a Winnie last time. It's on Facebook, on my page. I don't want to do it again this time because, well, I did it last time. So, okay. So last time I mentioned that I got the idea for that song, Red Wing Boots, from Burlington Songwriter Group I was in, and that was the challenge. They threw out that word boot or shoe, and I wrote a song from it. Here was another one. The word was moon, and I came up with this. Now, this song was written long before our, thank the Lord God Jesus, past president came up with that bullshit at the Mexican border, but it could apply. It's called Rio Moon. Adios, mi amigos, he held out his hand as the moon bathed his face on the banks of the Rio Grande. Silver in the moonlight, a tiny twisting band lay await before him as the moon lit up the land. The love of a woman burned through his soul that night. He knew she'd be there waiting. He knew she'd be his wife. For the touch of her hand, he'd gladly risk his life. And he heard his mother's words as he stood in the pale moonlight. My son, don't swim the Rio on a moonlit summer night, for the face that smiles upon you will take your life that night. The sentries in the towers are trained to shoot on sight. My son, don't swim the Rio on a moonlit summer night. Crouched behind the sagebrush, the searchlight beam swung by. He nearly felt a shudder as he sprung into the night. The tracers hit the water, they fell short of their mark. He splashed ashore on the other side and he vanished in the dark. The moon over his shoulder lit a path as bright as day to the rancho where his love did lie. His passion led the way, but as his cheek pressed the window pane, he felt his soul betrayed. For in the arms of the rancher, his love did dance and sway. My son, don't swim the Rio on a moonlit summer night, for the face that smiles upon you will take your life that night. The sentries in the towers are trained to shoot on sight. My son, don't swim the Rio on a moonlit summer night. Before the moon had traced its arc, he stood once more in its light that sparkled on the Rio as the searchlight sealed his plight. With his mother's words resounding clear, he took his fateful step, while the visions of his love burned deep as the pounding in his chest. And as the tracers hit the water in the instant before their mark, he howled up at the moon, his words split the dark. Adios, mi amigos, adios, my mother dear. Pull my body across the Rio where the moon shines so clear. My son, don't swim the Rio on a moonlit summer night, for the face that smiles upon you will take your life that night. The sentries in the towers are trained to shoot on sight. My son, don't swim the Rio on a moonlit summer night. My son, don't swim the Rio on a moonlit summer night. My son, don't swim the Rio on a moonlit summer night. Rio Moon. I love that song. That too is not yet recorded, but it will be. Pete, how's it going, buddy? Your former colleague's been pretty busy these last couple of weeks, haven't they, my friend? Yeah, you know what I mean. Thanks, Philip. Glad you appreciate it. Wub, thanks, babe. It's really nice to see you here. And Liam, I think. I don't know if I'm talking to you or your son, but whatever. Either one of you, pass it on to the other. So for those of you who don't know my music, there's a place where you can read more about it. You can actually listen to some of it. If you want to buy a download of a single or whatever, you can. It's on this website, carlrubinomusic.com. It's also on Spotify, but you can hear it right on the website. Also, the Facebook.com Carl Rubino Music page is where I post these videos. There are a bunch of them there. Anybody wants to get in touch with me for any reason, there you go. And the PayPal thing is my open guitar case for online busking. So anyway, where am I going next? Let's see. So, some people have asked, others, if they thought about it, might ask, you got any plans for any recording or anything like that? And here's the answer. Back in the olden days, and I guess still in the current days for, the big deal performers, people used to do full albums every year or two, whatever, and then they'd release them, and they'd have a big release party and all that stuff. But now, what's happening a lot more frequently is people are doing singles. One song, you release it online. So I'm going to start doing some of that. I don't know what I'll start with. Maybe one or two of those songs. Release them one at a time for download or whatever. Hang on, I'm trying to tune this. This is like trying to chew gum and spit and walk all at the same time. You'd think you could just watch this idiot Gage and get it right, but with a capo on it, it has its own mind sometimes. Capo, that's that funny looking little thing when you don't know how to play a million chords in a million different positions. You put that little thing on it and it fakes it for you. Anyway, so on my website is at the bottom of the first page is you can subscribe to get my newsletter. Now don't worry, you're not exactly going to get inundated. I brought my first one out after the page had been open for almost a year, so in another couple of months maybe you'll get another one. But that's the place that I would, if I was going to be releasing something, or when I start doing my house concerts, which is how I'm going to perform in people's houses, and they invite their friends. That's I'll let you know when that happens. Okay, so here's another song. Here's where this one came from. Years ago, I lived up a dirt road on the side of a mountain in Lewis, New York, which is a pretty small town, even compared to small towns. And we used to get a lot of snow up there. I mean, we could get snow up there sometimes where there was no snow down at the bottom of the hill. Anyway, that's where this song came from, When the Plowman Comes Around. I live in the last house at the end of a long dirt road that's always been the last one to get plowed in the wintertime. And I used to go down to the town hall, make a fuss, and told them they should plow me first, at least every other time or so, 'cause I had lots of things to do, places where I could go, people I'd like to see, even in 2 feet of snow. But now things have changed somewhat. I don't get out in winter much, turn on a TV show or look outside and watch it snow. And I don't have that much to do. All my friends have passed on through. I guess I kinda like it when the plowman comes around. Seems he waits till I got up, put on my boots, warm clothes and such, filled the old wood stove up, poured some coffee in a cup, and I hear him starting up the road. At the hill he drops it into low, winding gears and a heavy load. He turns around at the end of the road. I had lots of things to do, places where I could go, people I'd like to see, even in 2 feet of snow. But now things have changed somewhat. I don't get out in winter much. Turn on a TV show or look outside and watch it snow. And I don't have that much to do. All my friends have passed on through. I guess I kinda like it when the plowman comes around. He waits before starting in till I wave back at him. It's kinda like he's checking in when the plowman comes around. Just before he drops the blade, he always honks as if to say, "Hey, old man, how's your day? If it keeps on snowing, I'll be back this way." I had lots of things to do, places where I could go, people I'd like to see, even in 2 feet of snow. But now things have changed somewhat. I don't get out in winter much. Turn on a TV show, look outside and watch it snow. And I don't have that much to do. All my friends have passed on through, and I guess I kinda like it when the plowman comes around. For too long I'm noticing snow's covering the road again. I guess I won't be long when the plowman comes around. Yeah, things have changed somewhat. I don't get out in winter much. Turn on a TV show, look outside and watch it snow. I don't have that much to do. All my friends have passed on through. I guess I kinda like it when the plowman comes around. When it comes around, comes around. Yeah, when the plowman comes around. Deborah Sands, welcome back. I believe you were here last week. Yeah, Paul Bueller, it was your old house. I was renting that house up the end of Johnson Lane. Yep, you and Jess even started me out with some of your firewood. I remember that. I loved that house. That was a lot of fun. Yep. Wow, small world. Paul's posting, Philip Tucker, you spent a month there one night. Okay, it wasn't a good part. Anyway, what's next? Okay, so let's see where we are for time. Well, I may go a little over if there's no objections. Yeah, okay. Here's another song. This is the back when I played live, when there was live. This was probably my most requested song. Philip Tucker, my bachelor party started there. Oh, and it stayed for a month? Wow. Okay, thanks, Wub. This song's on my record. My record's called First Bite. It's on Spotify Artist. It's on Amazon Artist. It's on some other artist or something, but it's also on my website. So here's the story behind that record. I wrote a few songs. I was thinking I'm going to try to hawk these songs as a songwriter, but I like the recording process so much that I did a few others. I made a record out of it. And That record's it's available to listen to cuts from on my website, carlrubinomusic.com. Anyway, this song, Jimmy and Stella, Love Doesn't Always Play in Tune. Now, you know, most of the songs I write have some kind of a twist. I don't tend to write, although I did them last week because it was a depressing week, so I thought I'd do happy songs. I don't tend to do happy-go-lucky, flowery little boy meets girl, everybody falls in love, has 3 kids, 2 cats, 4 dogs, live happily ever after. Those are beautiful songs, but not for me. In the town I lived in the town where I was born, not that one. In the town I lived in years ago, there was this couple. His name was Roy. I don't remember her name. But they were a very unlikely couple. They were into pretty much every form of self-abuse people can get themselves into. He was a pretty violent guy. But they were a couple. And they were a strange couple. So they were the inspiration for me to write this song about Jimmy and Stella. Jimmy was a truck-driving man and Stella was a star of the night. To see those two together was a really sorry sight. One too many bottles had been pressed to Jimmy's lips, and one too many men had been drawn to Stella's hips. But Jimmy's 18 wheels no longer fly from coast to coast. Stella's days are over as a suburban housewife host. To say that they were tired and spent was an understatement at best. But in their own kind of special way, they shared a little tenderness. And they danced to the beat of a different drummer. They tangoed on the dark side of the moon. It's hard to see what they saw in each other, but love doesn't always play in tune. It wasn't always quite the same. They had different lives back when. Jimmy drove those 18 wheels for pride and a dividend, till his wife ran off and took the kids while wheels rolled through the west. And he came back, lived alone, and tried his level best. Stella kept a house and kids and a mortgage around her neck. As long as she could hold back the trips her husband left her. They built their love out of tenderness, desperation to find their aims. But no one's keeping score no more, and no one's giving in. When they danced to the beat of a different drummer, they tangoed on the dark side of the moon. It's hard to see what they saw in each other, but love doesn't always play in tune. They go out on Friday nights to a local roadhouse bar. Stella'd take the keys from Jim so he couldn't get too far. Jimmy'd take a seat at the bar, he'd settle in for the night. Stella, she was restless, she was really quite a sight. In a tight skirt that said it all and made the boys want more. Stella'd sit with her back to the bar, her eyes fixed to the door. A tall, dark stranger'd saunter in and Stella'd saunter out. Jimmy'd only notice if his money had run out. And they danced to the beat of a different drummer. They tangoed on the dark side of the moon. It's hard to see what they saw in each other, but love doesn't always play in tune. Why, Jimmy'd say, bartender, another Boilermaker, please. Stella'd be in the parking lot, she was anybody's squeeze. It might have been a Freightliner, a Bulldog, or Peterbilt. Stella'd be in the back of the cab, the slightest hint of guilt. And as the bartender would announce, last call, Stella would drift back in. She'd straighten out her skirt and wake up Jimmy with a pat on the chin. They'd venture out in the dark and night, arm in arm or hand in hand. And each night was about the same, like it was the way things had always been. And they danced to the beat of a different drummer. They tangled on the dark side of the moon. It's hard to see what they saw in each other, but love doesn't always play in tune. Love doesn't always play in tune. Yeah, love doesn't always play in tune. I love that song. It's one of my definite favorites. So maybe I'll pat myself on the back here a little bit. Some years ago, I figured, well, if other people can get their songs recorded by others, maybe I can. So I took a few trips down to Nashville and met with different people, producers, people at BMI, writer-publisher relations, and I played in songwriter nights and stuff like that. And I actually got that song to Oh Boy Records, which is John Prine, or was John Prine's record company, and they didn't Venmo. I don't. Sorry, I don't need a cab. Thanks very much. I don't know what you mean by Venmo. I mean, I know what it is, but I don't do anything with it. Anyway, so they put the whole song. John Prine put the song on a soft hold, meaning I'd kind of like to listen to it some more and think about what to do with it. And after a while, I didn't hear anything, so I called Oh Boy Records back, the guy I was dealing with, and I said, what's up with the song? Any interest? He said, well, John passed on it, meaning he didn't want to do it, but he would like to know if it's okay to pass it on to one of the other artists, his label. What was I going to say? No, man, give me my song back. So, of course, I said, sure. Nothing became of it, but, for me, to be somebody who had just started writing and doing songs, to have John Prine listening to your song a couple of times, thinking, maybe, well, no, but maybe one of my other people. That was pretty exciting. I couldn't take it to the bank, but it felt good. So, anyway, well, we're past the time. PayPal address again. Somebody's asking for my PayPal address again. This is a completely unsolicited request. The PayPal address, what the fuck? Oh, excuse me, is paypal.me/Carl Reno Music. I think you might have to use initial caps for all of that. I'm not sure. And so I'm going to make this little pitch, not for me, but for, I'm very lucky. I don't have to make a living from my music. I'm old. I'm pretty much retired and shit like that. So I'm okay. I'm not out there looking for a large double wall carton to put under the overpass and live in. But there are musicians who are, because there's no place to play. The venues are shut down. Many of them are permanently out of business. When things do start up, the small independent musicians are going to be at the end of the pecking line. And it's going to be really tough for them. So if you do hear live streams of songwriters or musicians that you like, and, think of it like busking, or like when you go to see somebody in a small, non-lucrative club and they got a tip jar, throw a couple of bucks in or something, or maybe buy their CD or whatever you can do. Like I said, I'm okay. I'm not begging for money. I mean, you want to throw some money at me, I'll use it to buy guitar strings or whatever. But think of the folks who really need it. So I think we're going to close. Sometimes I do little teasers. I think I'll do one now. So sometimes, I said earlier, sometimes I come up with an idea or a title, and that's what stimulates the song. Sometimes what stimulates the song is something I do in the music. Like that. So maybe someday that'll be a song, or it might mix with this, which is pretty much a steal from these days. I go out walking these days, or something like that. Anyway, so some of that stuff might be a song someday. Thank you all for coming. I really appreciate it. This live streaming is really interesting. People pop up. I've had people pop up on here that I went to grade school with. And in the case of most of those who popped up here that I went to grade school with, I hadn't seen much of them since maybe like high school or something. We just went in different directions. And all of a sudden, they're here. And, my daughter's here. And that's amazing. And, and then some local folks. It's really wonderful. I really love it. It means a lot. So, good to see you. Unless I screw up, I'm here every Thursday at 7 Eastern Time. Every once in a while, I do a cover. I'm working on Smokey Robinson. I got sunshine on a cloudy day. So when I can throw some more chords into it, maybe I'll have that. So anyway, see y'all next week. Nice to see America back again. Love to everybody. Stay healthy. Don't do anything stupid. Love your neighbor. Bring us all together. Thanks for coming.